welcome to TTTT. My name is Amina Abdi Rabah. It's a brand new month, isn't it? It's a brand new month. Hello to my panelists. Hello to Daddy Mato. Oh, for those of you who've just joined us.
I know. Happy New Year, everyone.
The year began. Hello to Daddy Mato. Hello to Cindy. Hello Tom Daktari. How you guys? Have you guys been?
Mambo sawa.
Surviving.
Hey,
of importance is health. Of importance.
Oh, that's where you've reached as an adult.
Yo, of importance is health
and school fees.
Sasa hizo story mlikuwa mnasema unajua Januari tukutane, baada ya Januari tuko na nyinyi sasa.
Sasa tumekutana na bado tunalalamika.
Mwaka mpya inaanza tarehe 15 Februari.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true, because there's a lot of things to do before then. Senior Mato.
Yes.
Yeah, there are people who have to dump one another. You know, you have to be single, you have to announce it, it has to be clear. There are people who have to celebrate this godforsaken day where they have to spend so much money. You know, there's a lot happening. And the year has just begun. But I'm so glad to see you guys. Cindy, it's been such a long time. When was the last time you were on the show?
I think last year.
Oh.
Yes, I haven't been on the show this year.
Happy New Year to you too.
Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Now that's how old I am. If I sing that song, there are people who are watching who will know where that song came from. And which president was dancing with his wife. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Yeah, I'm the resident show. I've accepted. It is what it is.
I feel like you hear it as you're speaking, as you're sharing some of these stories. You sound like those elders who are sharing stories about like the colonial era.
Back in the day.
You know, you're like, when we were fighting the white man. You know, like that's what I hear. But did you guys get a chance to watch our brand new show today that debuted? Shout out to our brand new presenters. That is Natalie Githinji and Laura Mbatha. Did you guys catch the show? Beats and Buzz? 4 p.m?
Probably. 4 p.m.
Ulikuwa jam.
Miaka yetu. Haitukubali tuwe kwingine isipokuwa kazini.
Okay.
As per my last email, tulikuwa jua hizo maneno.
But please make sure that you check out the show. So every single weekday from 4 p.m. I'm not even sure until what time. I think it's 6 p.m. if I'm not wrong. But it's such a dope show. It's so entertaining and so funny. So make sure that you guys watch it. Okay, so there's a lot that's happened. Tom amenyamaza. It looks like he's here for serious business. He doesn't want to catch up. He doesn't care about our small talk.
I've been here.
Yeah, sorry.
Ooh, excuse us.
We apologize.
You're used to this environment.
So,
for those who've been in the parking lot.
Okay. So then let's talk about something that happened in a church, right? So now a church elder in Homa Bay County has been stabbed to death over an alleged sexual affair with a married woman who's also a member of the church. Francis Opio, who's 35, a church elder at an SDA church in Ramoya, Suba South, was stabbed during a live service by a fellow church elder over claims that Mr. Opio has been in a lengthy sexual affair with his wife. Mato, is this something that you would do? Do you understand where the temporary insanity came from?
Stabbing somebody because of
having an affair with your wife.
With my wife.
A long-standing affair. It wasn't just like a one-night stand. It's been going on for a minute. We just
a long run.
So wacha kwanza to focus on them. Kwanza tuseme, of course, condolences to the family for losing, you know, probably a breadwinner. It is unfortunate that the circumstances led to that happening. Secondly, bibia wenyewe is a no-go zone. Thirdly, hata kama bibia wenyewe is a no-go zone, tafadhali, let us try and kujishikilia hasira zingine, because you have stabbed the man for taking your wife, and rather for quote-unquote conquering your wife. You have stabbed a man for conquering your wife, and now you are in prison. You're also not going to get to enjoy your wife that you killed somebody else for.
Double whammy.
Haina faida hata kidogo. Yeah. And then sasa back to the question that you raised. Kama mimi ninaweza fanya kitu kama hiyo, sidhani niko na hiyo nguvu ya kutoa mtu maisha kwa sababu ya kitu kama hiyo.
Ukiacha unaachika.
Hata sio hivyo.
Unajua hajawacha bado.
Ni ile ya
ajaachwa.
Sidhani inaweza fika hapo ati ni chape mtu kwa sababu ya ku make conscious decisions about their lives. Hivyo ndivyo umeamua. Aya, okay. Sawa. Ni mimi niamue sasa ni njia gani nataka kwenda nayo. But then of course there are some relationships where some people feel they have invested a lot to allow that investment to just be choviaed by somebody else. So probably hiyo ndio ilikuwa uchungu yake. Mimi ninasema kwake yeye. Kwangu mimi sidhani inaweza fika kwa kuua mtu bado.
Bado.
Lakini mtoto wangu ukiguza ndio tunaweza
mtapambana.
Watoto.
Yes, watoto.
Yeah.
Yeah, itakuwa no. But I think mimi nikiulizwa naweza sema one of the people wenye you see now huyu mwenye ameuana kwa sababu ya mke. First, the wife is not happy because alikuwa happy na huyo mwingine. So is not happy that you've done that. So meaning shida haikuwa huyu mtu. Shida ni mke. So kama mke yeye anaamua wacha nitoke niende, wachana na yule wa nje. Huyo wa nje msiongee sana. Yeye hana makosa hata kidogo. Amjuani. Tusifikiane. Wewe deal na mke, muongee, muulizane shida iko wapi hadi ukatoka nje. So wewe usitoke nje kwa sababu kama ashatoka shida iko hapa. Na kama iko hapo huenda shida ikawa ni wewe pia.
You know, Amina, I talk to very interesting people, including prison wardens, and I had a conversation with one some time back, and they said majority of people in prison are there because of anger. It is not premeditated like I thought about it, but it is instant. Like you're in the bar, you're having a drink, you're having a good time, somebody steps on you.
You have a gun, you shoot them, like
that sort of thing. You know what I mean?
People,
so it's always in the heat of the moment, and then you don't realize what you've done. You've hit somebody over the head with a pressure cooker. There was a story, oh my God, it's just so crazy. The moral of the story is, in your, now I'm just laughing because now I've become the resident shosho because I'm quoting a Bible verse, like for real. In your anger, do not sin, but also in relationships. If you see mtu amefika the point where they're stabbing, kuna kale ka umenisinya, na kamadharau, na ka kiburi. You have stomach, you have stomach, you have stomach, you have stomach. Push comes to shove, you're like, huyu twende tukiendaga. I am not justifying homicide, femicide. Matter what's the word for killing men? Androcide.
Do you know how I was like,
I know.
Because I cued you in so that you can set that up for me.
I'm not advocating for that.
Realize the way. This is not a conversation about men killing men.
Yes,
this is just a conversation of somebody killing somebody.
Yes. I'm not advocating for that, but the more of the story is in relationships, when there's too much pressure, sometimes you have to just chill.
Na vile umesema hasira ni mbaya. That's why Matu achagan home every time.
Anyway, all right. So lazima tupungehewa kidogo. We have to pay some bills. What a sad day, right? As we announce the death of the legendary TV and radio broadcaster here in Kenya, Leonard Mambo Mbotela, who made his mark even before the country gained independence. And it is so sad for us to discuss the fact that he's passed on. He's been a guest on The Trend, I think maybe twice, if I'm not mistaken. An absolutely incredible human being. What a gentleman. The world has truly lost one of their best. May his soul rest in peace. We have more to talk about that and more, of course, right after the break. That's all coming up right here on NTV, only on TT. Let's pay some bills. We'll be right back. And welcome back. You're watching TT. I'd love to hear from you. Tell me where you're watching the show from. At The Trend Live is our handle, the hashtag TT. Now, this has to be one of the saddest stories that I've ever had to share on the show, just because I've met him. He's such an amazing human being, or was an amazing human being, a true legend, an absolute gentleman, and a man of integrity, from what I gathered when he came on The Trend. Leonard Mambo Mbotela, legendary TV and radio broadcaster here in Kenya, who's made his mark, like I had mentioned before, that happened way earlier than the country gained independence, has now passed away. With a remarkable career spanning over 5 decades, Mbotela earned numerous accolades for his exceptional contributions to the media industry, Though he is no longer with us, his legacy will endure for generations to come. President William Ruto has led the nation in honoring the life and work of this iconic broadcaster. And I have to ask my panelists who are with me here tonight, what is your memory? And, you know, what comes to mind when you hear the name Leonard Mambo Mbotela? Let me start with you, Tom.
One, mimi nimemsikia sana online, pia akitel stories zake. Mimi siwezi sema nilikuwa namsikiza kwa radio kitambo kidogo. Mimi yangu ni kufuata story yake, and it really inspired me, kwa sababu dream yangu ilianza kukua mwanahabari kwa sababu yake. So I really, sijui nitasemaje, lakini ni mtu ambaye mimi ameni-inspire.
Yeah.
Na story zake pia ni story ambazo nikifikiria najiambia you have a long way to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cindy?
His raspy voice, I mean, when he spoke, you'd know him so distinctly by the tone of his voice. Yes, as a residential show, I listened to him on radio, going to school. In primary school, I went to school in the 80s, for those who are shocked. You know, and he was a familiar household name. And just to be in the same industry as an icon such as himself is something that I think we should all be proud of, and we should say is it's a good thing. So condolences to his family. He was a journalist par excellence, and I don't think we'll have another of his kind. He was one of one.
Yeah, and he truly was.
Yeah, and he really inspired us all.
He really did. Mato?
Je, who ni Ngwana? That's a question that we have been asking of our leadership in this country for a very long time. That is something that he has been asking ever since he made his mark in radio. And one of the most interesting things that I remember of him was when he pivoted from having Je Huni Ngwana on radio to actually it being a TV show. That to me was an interesting story on pivoting and transitioning for growth, and I really like that. And that's one of the things I always try to achieve. You pivot, you transition, and you grow. And of course, one other thing is a story from my mother where she said that in August of 1982, during the coup, she actually was one of those who had him on the radio announcing that the coup was happening, and his voice set calmness in the country at a time where chaos would have erupted. So he was a gentleman, and condolences to the family, condolences to the entire nation, and may he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace. May he rest in peace. I want you guys to understand that when the coup took place, there was no social media.
No.
Yep.
So when the cops were going to all these neighborhoods, rounding people up, they didn't know why the cops were there, even though some of them had on the radio, because people, you know, people have work, people were busy doing other things, and it was just so surprising to them to see the police come and the army as well. And, you know, people are being told you have to get into these, you know, these trucks and these cars. And so he's come on the trend, again, just talking about the day, reliving what that meant to him in 1982 and how that changed his life, you know, being woken up and, you know, just going through what he went through, experiencing what he experienced. And as he was talking about it, I remember it was such a far cry from what we've now known as the Maandamano movement, how we experience 2024, and the fact that we're going through very similar things now. Do you guys not think that that's absolutely ridiculous, Cindy?
I do, and I wish that he would be the voice, just talk to this generation and guide us through this interesting time.
Yeah.
We are in every couple of years, there's always a cleansing, if you think. A cleansing culturally, mindset, even technology. And we are in this era that is so interesting to me of just awareness, you know, of our rights, awareness of who we are, awareness of the importance of our citizenship. So yeah, it would be very interesting. Like I said, we live in interesting times, and back to Mbotela, I think it would be interesting if he was still alive, just to hear what he would have to say about this season that we are in.
Yeah, as a country, right?
As a country, yes.
May his soul rest in peace, truly, truly, truly. All of us are journalists in our own right. We have appreciated and loved this this career path that we picked. Some of us, it was accidental, but it's okay. We are on this path. Kama Tom ilikuwa ni accident, by the way. Tuko hapa. And he will definitely remain a legend in very many people's books. May his soul rest in peace, as I've said. All right, so now as we move on to the next story. Now, a local bank has been fined 1 million Kenya shillings by the Employment and Labor Relations Court for failing to protect one of its employees from an aggressive and hostile customer. The court found that Saeed Zamzam, a staff member at one of the branches of the financial institution, was violently confronted by an angry customer over services of the bank. But now Zamzam's employer did not appropriately make sure that she was protected at her workplace. Hence, why we are discussing this story right now. You know, if someone comes and attacks you right here, Mato, don't you feel as though nation should have protected you?
You know, we are opening a can of worms, so to speak.
I know, but be honest.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Like, I do agree, yes. It is the responsibility of the employer to ensure and guarantee the safety of the employees.
Yes.
And is this person who actually endangered this employee's life getting sued as well? Ama the others. Ama nijuye hana pesa. So let's sue the person who has money.
No. Yeah, in fact, anaenda jela.
Anaenda jela. Kama anaenda jela, sawa. I can neither confirm nor deny from the story. Kama anaenda jela ni sawa. But you know, I say we are opening a can of worms. In this case, say, for example, now, me and you, Amina, we decide to have a tiff over here. And wewe ndio umie, mimi niende jela. So wewe utasu kampuni kwa sababu haiku kuprotect kutoka kwa.
Hiyo ni tofauti kwa sababu we both work for the company. Yeah. Or rather, you are allowed here because they believe that you are going to be offering a service that's going to be of profit or of benefit to the organization. It's different.
Isn't the point your safety being guaranteed by your employer?
Yeah, but then, you know, it's the same as my producer, Ndenga, if he decided to come and beat me in the studio. How could they have controlled that? I can't sue them in that situation. I sue Ndenga.
Probably his situation in as a course of work, this situation might not be a good juxtaposition. Yeah. Because in here we have to have known you are coming in advance.
Exactly.
So this is not a good juxtaposition.
We have your ID number, your location, we know your mom, where she lives, what your dad does. We have a lot of information.
Your auntie's charm.
That's different.
With a bank, any Tom, Dick and Harry can walk into the bank.
All the info. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, in the bank, anybody can walk in at any time. They might be a customer, they might not be a customer. So this probably is even a conversation on, you know, even more security in itself. But how do you control who's going to come in? Hujui kama anakuja kufungua a new account ama yeye ni customer akona account tayari. I just feel this was a very hasty decision because it felt
Allow me to interject, Mato.
Allow me to interject. Can we take a break and then you interject? Okay, so I'd love to hear from you, Cindy, because I feel like Mato, you know, sometimes Mato, it's so weird because you only get two sides with Mato. It's either we're getting sued or I'm not sure what to say. He's never in the middle. He's never in the middle, but it's okay.
Consistency.
Let's not, don't surprise us. It's fine. It's either we're all getting fired or we're so innocent and sweet. It's very confusing, by the way. But it's TTTT. I'd love to hear from you. Mato anatumbo, sindio? Niambieni. Should Mato just go to Pakistan like that woman? What's happening? Should he just go? Please let me know. At The Trend Live is our handle. Let's take a quick break. We have your highlights coming up on what you can expect on the news at 9. And of course, many more stories. There's a lady from the USA who's making headlines in Pakistan. And also, I want to go to Pakistan. I didn't know they're that patient. And a whole lot more to talk about. There's so many things that have made headlines we have to discuss. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. And welcome back. All right, so now during the break, I tried to catch Cindy and Mato, and I think Tom knew who the American woman in Pakistan was. Right, Tom?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you guys think real quick? So for those of you who don't know, let me just run it down.
I'm still on the
Let me real quick tell you what she's doing. So there's an American woman who went to Pakistan, I think sometime 2 weeks ago, and she said she met this guy online, they're getting married, that's her husband, and he just went, you know, poof on her. Alim ghost. But she's not your typical woman. She's going to go to your country, look for you, seek, and find where you're living. And she hasn't found him yet, but she has been such a skeptical. In fact, it has actually boosted the tourism in Pakistan because people now view it positively because of how they have been kind and patient and understanding with this crazy lady. Yeah. All right, so now you guys have seen the videos. What do you guys think? Real quick, let me start with Mato.
So I actually got another recap kidogo. Circumstances are a bit different. So this lady was apparently catfishing. She's 33 years old.
She was catfishing.
She was catfishing using, she's an African-American woman, and she was using a white blonde lady in the videos to have video chats with this 18-year-old Pakistani man. So boy. And apparently they already did a nikah. That's it's a wedding, but they did it online. So they're already married. So when she got there to see her husband, the husband looked at her and said, no. Si wewe nilikuwa naongea na yeye. But he was okay because he thought, American visa still, it shall be fine. But then the mom looked at her again and then said, no.
Absolutely not.
My son, no.
She was actually using a Nicki Minaj filter.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, but Nicki
Minaj what did she
expect? A filter. It's
a
also
filter. not
she's
white.
Not.
No, she's not. She's
but
not.
She does blonde wigs.
She's from Trinidad, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she is. Cindy?
Beware of women who draw their eyebrows.
No. Beware of women. Please, your statement is she apple. Beware of women. Thank you, Cindy.
I couldn't get over her eyebrows. I was like, anyone who draws their eyebrows like that is a red flag.
That's true.
She should have known.
No, that's true.
But anyway,
that's
she used the filter.
That's true. That's true. Now, but I also saw those comments and, you know, that video where they had alleged that Wavinya had moved on from Cairo and she had, you know, or this gentleman had shared a video of them traveling together, going somewhere to the coast. And people said, oh, so this is why you should fear as women. I honestly, I got it. When I watched that video, I was like, babe, it's so soon. I mean, we're proud of you. The sisterhood is proud of you.
Women. Yes.
Women in men fields, but damn. Right?
Yeah.
He's still in court. But Wavinya for president, you were speaking at our next conference. You're speaking.
He had to fear women.
Yeah. Just fear women. Just fear. Anything about women, fear. Fear it with
but Cindy, weren't you proud when Wavinya moved on? Achana na Tom.
Absolutely.
I liked it.
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
Fear women.
When we get our hearts broken, we go hike, we rededicate our lives to our maker. When you guys get your hearts broken, you follow Americs.
See, hawa wananipea ile kitu fulani ya mazu, unajua ile kitu unaonanga mtu unajiambia wataachana. Alafu next week ndio hiyo. Alafu wewe ulikuwa umenyamaza hutaki kuisema. So mpaka wao hata wanaogopa kuisema you knew.
You knew.
But we fear you.
Fear us. Yeah, fear us. I mean, there are things I see online and I'm like, oh wow, this is why we should be feared, but I will not say it. I will not say it because for centuries, for eons, Cindy, we have been fearing men.
The sisterhood needs to stick together.
Hello. Freedom is
I understand
coming.
you, Amina, kwa sababu there is a Twitter bigwig, a serious quote-unquote Twitter feminist who says, I will post anything and everything I feel I need to post on Twitter as a feminist. But situation kwa ground, ni tofauti.
Yeah, ni tofauti.
Ni tofauti.
You know what, Mato? I need you to understand that people are faking and lying on social media. We're different people on ground. Please meet us on ground. You know, someone who hates Ruto online, probably in person, on ground, they're lying.
Yeah, that's what, lying. You see, we even meet our fans, our haters.
Yeah.
Ule mwenye kutusi online. Akikutana ameshikilia simu hivi.
Mimi anasema wewe ni fan wangu. Wewe ni fan wangu by the way.
Exactly, Mato.
Anakuambia anapenda vitu unafanya. Lakini huyu jamaa anaenda kukutusi huko.
Yeah. In fact, anatumia hiyo picha kwenda kukutusi. He's like, have you guys noticed how Tomo Daktari now usually so skinny? Life is not working out for him.
I told you that this guy anaisha. Sasa wana mahali nimempata.
Okay, now let's talk about US President Donald Trump, who has frozen more than $13 million in US funding that was meant for the UN-backed international security mission aimed at fighting armed gangs in Haiti. Now, the freezing of the funds, according to the UN statement, is under President Donald Trump's 90-day pause on unnecessary foreign aid.
Let me tell you something.
Let me.
Wacha niseme ukweli.
Yes, Mato.
Hata mimi nilishtuka. Wacha niseme hata mimi nilishtuka. Kama kuna kitu nimekuwa nikiamini ina happen kwa hii dunia, ni kuna mtu anaitwa Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam aka America. America has our best interests at heart. It is that country where if you have problems, you just cry out to them. As opposed to crying out to God, tuko na shida. You cry out to them, unapata usaidizi. Zile pesa ambazo wanatoa, ziko na proper records. They have to account for every penny, where it is used, how it is used, who it is going to. Wacha wafungue kitabu kwanza ya USAID.
Allow me to interject because I'm in civil society. Allow me to interject. Allow me to interject because it's a bit of a dangerous trajectory you're taking, because there are institutions that are suffering because of the USAID.
This is true.
This is true. And one of the reasons that it has been plugged is corruption at some level in USAID, but it is not blanket. And because of the rotten apple, the whole tree, one rotten apple, the whole tree is being cut down. And qua ground, there are so many projects and livelihood issues that USAID was assisting in funding. It brings in this whole conversation of why are we reliant so much on the taxes from this company? For example, for health, for security, for medicine, for prevention of malaria. That is fine. But in the meantime, the way it has been cut cold turkey. For example, there might be a resurgence of polio, of the pox, of things that we thought that we had dealt with before. Yes, as a country and all these other agencies, we need to look inward and see how we can sustain ourselves. But it's almost like a child has just finished KCPE, KCSE, unamtupa nje na bag unamwambia ende hustle. You give time to graduate. So back to your point, Mato, I'm not saying USAID is completely innocent, but it is also dangerous for us to paint it as this really corrupt organization at such a tumultuous time when there are people's jobs on the line, their projects on the line, based on the reputation of this organization.
Mimi ninasema, baada ya vitabu zifunguliwe, there is something that has changed about my perception of not just, USAID, foreign aid in itself, in totality, because it means there are some very, very personal interests vested, even in NGOs, organizations that are meant to be for the betterment of general populations.
Their personal interests vested everywhere. Even banks have personal
I understand. But you see, when you have problems with your own government because you feel there are no personal interests vested in that government, and you feel that you have something sort of a society of like-minded people whose intentions are for your best interest, and then you find this there as well, you can't help but be disappointed, Cindy. Now.
Oh my God, why are we acting like the World Bank doesn't do that?
We already know.
Nobody is painting them in bad light. They're seen as the rescuers of the world. But if you see...
See, I saw the former president akisema, why are you crying?
Si pesa yenu?
Si pesa yenu. Ni serikali yao.
It was a very heartless thing to say.
Si pesa yenu, si serikali yenu. You don't pay taxes there. Anyway, I'm not supporting yeye fully, but naweza sema kitu moja. Mimi msaada yoyote ambayo inakuja hapa, so long as inapitia mahali, pale mahali inapitia ndio shida inatokea. One, sina shida na hii ambayo niko na shida na hii amekata kwa sababu ya maybe the process vile ameikata, but yangu ni moja. Kama labda president wa America anaweza kuwa akijua any other money that is coming na inakuja kwanza kwa ameelezwa vitu ambazo tujui, tafadhali tunaomba tupoteze wote. Sometimes I feel nikiona pesa imekuja alafu tunaambiwa iliibiwa hii pesa imetumika, najiambia ni kama tupoteze wote jameni kwa sababu
you imenipita.
You know what? I realize, you know, Tom first of all laughs at his own jokes before any of you understand. He's his biggest fan fast. I don't care if you guys understand it. I have found it funny. Now, I wish I had enough time to explain it. No, but he has a point. It's true. He has a point. Ama tuilenge tu yote. Sindio, Tom? Tuiachie tu. Sindio?
Tujikakamue sisi wenyewe tu. Pambana na maisha yetu.
Back to now hiyo ya Haiti. Kwa sababu ni history ilikuwa ya Haiti. It's also the fact that the president came up like today. He said like leo anasema nimeongea na president mpya amesema hiyo project lazima iendelee. I think probably 1 hour later, within the same day. It's like when CS alikuwa anasema Adani.
Yeah.
30 minutes later, Adani arrested. 20 minutes later, I have cancelled all contracts.
Yeah.
Who do we have in our country? Who do we have in our country?
I can't answer that question. I cannot answer that question because I want to get home. But I know you know the answer. I know you know the answer. So I real quick want us to get through these stories. We literally have 1 minute, right? Okay. So I want us to talk about this lady. All right. Oh my God. Let's talk about Australia. Now, Joe Haley has resigned as Transport Minister for New South Wales State in Australia after details, listen to this, okay? After details of her using her official state-funded car and driver for private trips. The latest incident being chauffeured with some of her friends to a winery lunch on the Australian Day weekend. Guys, these are things that people are being fired over. Here in Kenya, we have seen people...
Resigning.
Okay, but you know why you resigned?
Yes, of course.
Because they told you, do we fire you? Do you resign? Which one do you think would look best? Could that happen in Kenya? Yes, no, real quick?
Yes.
Listen to her statement. Her exact statement is something that I know will never happen in Kenya.
Exactly.
She said, I know it is not against the law, but that is not the only measure of the work that I am doing. The fact that it is not against the law is not the only thing that people are looking at. Yeah. People are looking at my integrity as well. And for that, I have failed. Yeah. That will never happen in Kenya.
Never.
Already kwa hiyo yenye amefanya, already ni mtu mpoa kwanza vile amefanya Kenya.
I should pray it happens in Kenya.
Tom, tunasema tini.
Already hiyo kitu amefanya tunaweza sema sio mbaya. Ni watu wamemzunguka. Lakini
marafiki.
But mimi mahali mimi ukutana na gari za government for example, najiambia hii story na mahali unakutana nazo hivi sometimes hata umeona imebeba ndizi sasa unajiambia. Unasumbuana mashinani sasa.
We've got to go. Is there any other show on this station that says we've got to go more than this show? No. Cindy, quickly. Diana is going to fire me, actually. I mean, maybe now Australian nani atuna job.
In Kenya, we use choppers to take our girlfriends everywhere. So.
Police choppers.
Police choppers.
That we can
let her come to Kenya. There is vacancy for her tabias. Here we tolerate things like that.
We accommodate it.
Did
you see the person who was fired for playing the wrong national anthem?
Yes.
Oh, muliona.
Huyo aende.
But with vile tuko hivi you never know. Labda ilichangiwa.
It was copyrighted and sold.
Hata wenyewe wanashangaa kwani ilienda.
We have to go. Thank you, Tom Daktari. Thank you, Cindy. And thank you, Daddy Mato. May his soul rest in peace. Leonard Mambo Mbotela. You are, honestly, you will be truly missed. Catch us at 10 p.m. My name is Amina Abdirabba. We have the trend coming up at 10 p.m. We have a host of amazing guests. But right now, I've got to say goodbye. I will catch you at 10 p.m. Time now for the news. Good evening. Bye.